Hello, we're here for the February Diamond Strings block of the month, and I'm going to be showing you how to piece this block. These are the blocks from January that are all sewn and trimmed up, and they turned out really nice. I was kind of excited about those, so we'll just set those aside. And February is going to be pretty much the same. We're just going to turn the direction of our center strip. So refer to your pattern to figure out the size that you'll need to cut your strip. And this time we're going to be laying our strip onto the foundation. Our strip is right side up, and we're going to go from the top right corner down to the bottom left corner. And I'm just going to go ahead and just eyeball where that ends and trim that off and add this to my tray with all my strips. And then we're going to go ahead and, just like we did for January, we're going to sew strips to each side until we fill up our foundation. So let's go to the sewing machine. Okay, we are at the sewing machine. And we're going to go ahead and start sewing our strips onto our block. So I have my piece in place. And then I'm going to just select the fabric strips from a fabric strip that I already had cut, and I'm going to lay it right side on, lining up my edge over here, and sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, and then we'll just give that a little press. I just kind of do a little finger press first and roll that into place. And I'm going to go ahead and add the next side. And I line my strip up, right sides together. And give it a press. And I'll just keep doing this until I filled up my whole foundation piece. Okay, we have all of our blocks sewn, and now the fun part. We're going to trim it down, and I'll put those aside for now, and I'm going to work with this one first. And I like to turn it to the back side, and then we're going to go ahead and trim according to the size listed in the pattern. And if you've got one of these slotted rulers, this is a Stripology squared ruler by Creative Grids. It has little grooves where you can place your rotary cutter in and just slide right through the little slits that are cut in there to make for really great, easy, fast cutting. And I'm just going to demonstrate on this block using this today. So this is the 0 line, and I'm going to line that up on one side. It has tons of markings on here, so you can really place it where you can see. I can see my foundation. It's within the sizes that I'm going to be cutting. Everything's lined up straight. And then I just place my rotary cutter into the groove and go all the way up. And then I'm going to come back over on the 0 side and do the same. And then you can see we've got awesome little cuts on both sides. And then we'll turn it and do the other side. And there again, I'm going to make sure that my 0 is over and lining up. Now with 2 straight sides, I have some really great registration lines already laid out for me, so I can line that up and make sure I'm still straight. put my rotary trimmer in. And then voila, we've got a perfectly trimmed up block. And another way that you can trim your blocks is I've taken a ruler that is, you know, not a big huge one, but a smaller size, but still has the measurements that I need to trim my block to. And I've taken some painter's tape and just marked the lines where I can quickly pick up this ruler and know that this is the section that I'm using to trim my block. I don't have to keep fussing with, do I have the right side down? Do I have, you know, my 1/2 inches here, but not on this side? So this just makes it really a visual as to exactly where you're going to be trimming. And so we're just going to line this up. And we're going to be doing 2 sides of this as well. And we'll do the top. And the side over there. And then we have 2 sides done, and we'll just flip that around. And then we can just place this right on our marked lines here, line it up. And trim off that last 2 sides. And do be careful when you're using your rotary cutter. And that one is trimmed as well. Okay, here's my completed blocks for February. All 6 of them are finished. And we're just going to go ahead and stack those all up, place them with our January blocks, and we'll continue next month. A little bit about these rulers. I'll kind of give you a little brief tour of some of my sewing room and some ruler storage that I have. This one, you do have to be gentle with these because with all the different slots in here, it can get, you know, it's very flexible, but at the same time, kind of fragile as well. So I did crack a piece right there, but I just put some painter's tape on it and it still works perfect. But a good place for storing these, because they are larger and cumbersome, we're going to go over this way. And there's a wall hanging that my mom made probably about 8 or 9 years ago. But what's awesome is behind this beautiful wall hanging is where I hang my larger rulers. They're kind of they're in a place where they're not going to get damaged. They've got a nice hole in them. I made sure that my nail is drilled or into the stud of the wall, and so they're not going to go anywhere. And then over here, I have a smaller cutting area. This is where I've stored my little tiny bits that I've cut off my strips. So make sure you keep all those, even the smallest little piece. This is another ruler storage area where I just kind of have some specialty rulers, some books of projects that I'm going to be working on. And then this piece right here, it's hard to see with this light in there. Let me move that out of the way. My husband and I made this. It's just some leftover barnwood pieces, and we attached this little wire basket, and I have a wooden basket in there that has smaller rulers. So those are all in their place. And then I just used some shower hangers and binder clips to attach the tops of the rulers. And so some of the longer ones hang there, the ones that I use frequently. So as I'm here at the cutting area, I can just grab it, use it, and then put it back so I know where they're at, you know, for the next time that I need it. And then one other little bit of a storage is under my main cutting table. I have put some S-hooks into the lip of the table and then just use my binder clips again and just put my most used rulers while I'm at the bigger cutting table. I can just grab those. They're hanging there out of the way, ready to be used. So I hope you enjoyed this month's tutorial, and happy sewing!